What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. That's right. Alongside for the ride is, of course, the man that is always grande from Americana, JC.
Americano, I believe. It's also a coffee drink, Adam, which I know you've never had.
Listen, dude, I'm running on E right now, so
maybe you should have an Americano. Get a little caffeine in your life.
do you, honest to God, do you think if I can't even fucking do the intro that I need coffee right now? I need fucking sleep.
Yeah, but coffee helps you stay awake before the sleep comes. I haven't had it for a month because of my condition, but
do you really think I need caffeine? Do you think I'd be more pleasant with caffeine?
No, you wouldn't be more pleasant, but you wouldn't be as tired.
Have twins and tell me that. Anyway,
hopefully not.
This is the Jobber Knocker podcast. We always start somewhere, JC. Where do we start?
We start in the Shine, Nestlemania. And who's always in the Shine?
She doesn't work for us anymore.
But who else is always in the Shine? He's also
Cody
American,
Rhodes?
and he's a nightmare, baby. Yeah, why don't we start with Cena, Cody? I feel like we should do this every week because it's fucking porn. It's just fucking porn. John Cena, we get these Euro crowds right now, which we're kind of worried about the road to WrestleMania being so long, but these Euro crowds make it a lot easier because they're just red hot, and it helps everything go along. But John Cena pretty much said everyone is horrible. I don't agree with him there. I think most people are pretty horrible. But Mr. Cena here is a little butthurt, and he said he wants to ruin wrestling for everyone because I don't know. The dude granted what Nestlemania in his life? A gajillion wishes, and now he wants to take them all away. What a dickhead! But
hey, he could be a reverse genie.
That is true. But eventually Cody confronts him, and Cena walks away like a little coward, and Cody said he'll be doing the same thing at WrestleMania.
So I'm curious how you felt about this segment, because I think last week we're on this program and we're talking about a bunch of different things, and it was really just difficult to say, oh, they're not going to blow their load about the explanation with The Rock or the number 17. At least this week, it felt like they were talking about the 17th championship. Which was the
little pieces along the way,
little niblets, if you will, little chiclets along the way. But I did appreciate it that he was like, I'm going into a race, Ric Flair, which was funny to me. I thought that was a nice little nod. I'm curious what you thought about when he said like you guys made fun of me for the spinner belt, but now basically I'm going to be the last real champion, and I'm going to leave you with a toy as a memory of me because I'm going to hold the championship high. And I appreciate it, but I almost feel like what's going to come of that if that's true, Well,
he has to win first, and I'm not so sure he's going to win. Maybe he will, but I'm not so sure he's going to win. But I don't know. I didn't mind the callback there because, like you said, they obviously didn't give us a ton here. Just like last week, they're giving us a little piece at a time, which I think is good because it's just like this is going to be every time Cena's on, this is going to be the segment. It's going to be him and Cody. So it's like, you've got to save some. I think in the past, a lot of the times, especially under Vince, you'd blow it all in one night. You'd be like, that was awesome. And then it would kind of drag out, but it's just little pieces. And like you said, this one was more about the championship and Cena talking about that. And Cody obviously, once again, didn't have to do a lot, so it keeps the exposure minimal, which I think is important. But this one wasn't as good as last week, but it's still must-see TV every time we do it. Cena with these crowds is must-see TV because he is working them well, and I just feel this feud. Sometimes you just feel a feud. I felt this one. They've done what they need to do, and it's just like I'm along for the ride, the nice slow ride. And I like that we're not being fast food fans in this feud, and we get to enjoy a nice 8-course meal here on our way to WrestleMania.
So I have a lot of thoughts here, obviously. I'm just curious what you might think, because as I'm looking at it in my head, I think someone said on Twitter, I don't know if this is true, that there's only the Raw in London and he's not showing up till WrestleMania. So there's 2 weeks where he's just not on television.
Is that all we have left? I feel
that's bizarre. So you have this. So if
London's next week.
London's next week. So we'll eradicate that from our discussion.
And then, we only have 2 more Mondays after that.
2 more Mondays after that. He's not going to be there. Now, if The Rock slides in, that's fine. I'm okay with it. But I don't think The Rock's going to slide in.
Let's also remember, Cody's the SmackDown champion. Does Cena have any SmackDown dates? Maybe he has some SmackDown.
I have no idea. But I think it's interesting. I think they said it was his last date before WrestleMania, which seems odd to me that there's you'd figure the go home he had to be there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking he might be on some SmackDowns. It's probably his last Raw. But I don't trust anyone on the internet. There really is. But I would assume he has some SmackDown dates. Because again, Cody is the SmackDown champion. I know it's been on Raw both times, but Cody is the champion of SmackDown. So, yeah, I could see that making sense as last Raw date. But if he isn't on a SmackDown leading up, that would be very, very odd to me.
Another thought that crossed my mind as he was saying, I had the spinner belt and you guys made fun of it being a toy, was what if he does win, right? Holds it and then does retire with it, right? Like, let's just go down the hypothetical. And then they got to have a new champion. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny and cheeky if he does end up with the championship, somehow retires it, he's the last real world champion, right? It does leave the door open for the custom Cody title that he's had forever with that, winged eagle looking thing with the white strap. I'm just then it's the new toy championship is what I'm trying to get at. Like there's some serendipitous thing going on here.
I mean, if he does win, I don't think he's just going to retire because he's on the Backlash.
No. I know. I'm just saying, I
could see him fucking with. I mean, look at that title's fucking piss yellow. The only reason I like it is Cody's holding it, but I fucking have made fun of that title since they debuted it. It's fucking piss yellow. Someone took a fucking piss on the goddamn title, but it matches Cody's fucking hair, so it's fine. But yeah, no, I'm fine if Cena wins with him fucking with the title a little bit. I don't mind that. It's good heel shit.
Joe says, isn't the belt essentially a toy? Well, it's a prop. We call it a prop there, Joseph, not a toy. The spinner belt was a toy. It did defy all logic, but, it is what it is. Joe, the backcracker, if you want to say comments like that, sir, you're going to have to say something that I can actually use in the program, sir. Okay. You said 2 comments that I cannot put out here. All right.
Well, he said you ruined wrestling. I'm
not acknowledging that.
It's
the opposite of acknowledgement. Thumb down. Or
the other one. Yeah. I don't know if I can say it.
So Marcus is in the house and he says that El Grande Americano is the next world champion. LOL. We'll get to it next. Which here's the thing.
Or did you not like it?
Oh no. I'm gonna eat crow 100% on this. The package was great with the AI and the whole.
I love the reaction out of it with Pierce and LWO.
But here's what really fucking I thought that was funny and I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go for the haha again, right? And then when he came out to the mariachi like the 4th of July song, I was just like, this is next level ridiculous. Like the song threw it over the top.
And did you hear where they said he's from? They said he's from the Gulf of America.
I know. A Republican organization,
The little shit like that puts stuff like this over the top of me. Because look I always enjoy this haha stuff, especially when it involves Gable. I love Shorty G. We fought on the program and a lot of that. I just enjoyed it because I love Gable and I thought it was hilarious. This is fucking hilarious. And the little details they're going to, and it's just in some capacity, it's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Gable at WrestleMania. They're getting a match, whether it's a singles match, whether it's going to be a tag match with Dragon Lee and El Grande Americano, a duplicate or something. But it's just I was like, this is exciting because we're always like, what when Gable does stuff like this, does it hurt him? It's like, no, if he has a WrestleMania match with Rey Mysterio, that's pretty fucking cool. And this is a fun storyline because it's right now on Raw, we have a lot of stuff that's pretty much good to go. This one's still developing. So week to week, this is giving me something to really sink my teeth in, pop the popcorn and enjoy.
I do feel like, I said this on a tweet, but I do think they definitely need to have Chad Gable with somebody playing the role in a tag match just to be like, see, Superman does exist with Clark Kent. That's what I want. If they do that, it checked all the boxes for me. After that, you can fucking pull the mask off, have the fucking.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like after he removed Dragon Lee's mask to win that match, it's going to be El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio in a mask versus mask match at WrestleMania. I know you love removing shit, so that's gonna get you excited.
I mean, if Chelsea Green does her hair match, that is going to be the match that I'm going to be talking about for the rest of my life. Marcus says this is more hilarious than Santino, Santina, or Elias and Ezekiel.
I agree.
I mean,
the only reason Elias Ezekiel worked is because KO is amazing, and Santino is good, but
I can't do that nowadays.
No, but I prefer this because I love Chad Gable. So I'm with you, Marcus.
Anyway, I don't know. There's so much more that I'm thinking about, but I guess what else did you like this week?
We can jump over to SmackDown because you know what? I kind of said my boy Randy, I didn't love his promo last week, but I love this segment this week. Orton gets that big pop in Bologna as he deserves. KO interrupts. He says he was Ron. He wants the tag titles at Mania with Orton. And then this is when Randy started to cook, because Randy's the best when you give him a little edge and you let him just do his thing. He said, shove it up your ass. Says you're more like Bitch Owens bitch. And we're getting this match at WrestleMania. So, you know, this is more the Randy I'm looking for. Last week it was clunky as hell. This week I thought it was smooth, and I'm ready for this match because we knew it was coming, but I'm excited that it's happening.
I mean, look, you look at it this way. Randy Orton is he's been bulletproof forever, but when they sing his song, you're just like, Jesus Christ. Like there's a level.
He wanted to get rid of that music too. That's the funniest part.
I don't know. It's one of those things where you're just like, wow, this is something else, but it's amazing to me. I don't know exactly why it bothered me with the whole like, oh, I want to be tag team champions. I know they threw that line in there, but that threw me off of the whole thing. I'm like, the dude dumped you on your head. Like,
well, I think it's Owens just being Owens. Like he's being a little shithead. And I also like, you might not like the device, but it set up Orton to be able to snap and cook a little rather than just like KO coming out and do it generically. It was like, this is a different way because we know KO's kind of a coward and this and that. And he's clearly fears Randy a little bit. So he's trying to take the easy way out so then he can turn him again like he always does. But I didn't mind it because it's just a device just to let Randy do his thing, which Randy needed that bounce back after last week.
Do you think, and this goes for anybody in the chat, is this a match that's like you're gonna want to watch this match, Randy Orton versus KO? This is gonna be a signature match for you to watch. Okay,
it is for me for sure. I mean, I love both these guys, which is a reason. I also know that like they're not going to hold back from each other, and they're going to have some good shit for us. And it's not going to be one that's going to be high in the marquee, but when it comes on, it's going to be damn better than everyone expects it to be.
I don't disagree that it's not going to be like, I think it's going to be good, but the one thing to me that is bad about the 2-night scenario, which I can't believe I'm even complaining about it. So shut the fuck up, Adam.
You shouldn't complain about it at all. It's so much better.
No, but the one thing is just like, there's so much content in both days that like in my head from like 36 on, I'm like, that happened, right? Like that was a match. Like, I just feel like sometimes the matches stand out that are amazing, but it just feels like there's an opportunity here for this match to really stand out. I don't know what they could do with it though. I feel like no DQ would be fun.
Yeah, this one could get a gimmick given like the lengthiness of this feud and how long Randy was out. But yeah, no, it's one of those that like for me, like you always look at the WrestleMania card and you can look down the list and there's some that are for you, there's some that not. There's a little bit of something for everyone. And this is one of the ones that is for sure for me. It's two of my favorite guys. They're on a big stage. It's a well-written feud. It's been a well-done feud, and I just am excited for the violence.
Okay, moving on. Anything else?
Meat! Nestlemania. They could run Braun versus Jacob Fatu every week, and I'd be very happy. Obviously, this one ended in a DQ, but again, I like the storyline here because it did a twofer here. It kind of a solo attack, so it continues the solo Jacob dysfunction, which JC is going to be right, and that's probably going to be a singles match at WrestleMania, and Jacob's going to go over. But what it also did is it also kind of got a little breather from Braun because now he's challenging for the U.S. title. But I'm assuming they're going to get involved in that match, and we might even get a multi-man match at Mania to save you from your singles match. Who knows? But it's one of those, like, I felt like things move forward, but at the same time, it's just like anytime Braun and Jacob like lock meat, I'm all in.
Lock meat. That sounds like they're crossing.
It sounds like they're doing something different.
Yeah. Wiener cousins. The one thing I am a little bit fatigued on, and I understand it because I could say this in the heat if I want, but there's something about these multi-person matches. There's a plethora of them coming.
Yeah, I mean
that bothers me because I just feel like and I understand there's a crop of talent. There's just a lot of it. You got to get it on the program. I understand everybody deserves it, but like, man, there's so many things in my mind that's going like, you know how you have a hard time with steel cage matches and you have a hard time with other particular matches. I have a hard time with anything more than a triple threat in my mind to remember it forever. Like, and I know that's not a fair bias at all. That's why it's a bias. But like in my head, it's thinking anything that's a fatal 4-way or a multi-man match is automatically gone to, okay, it's a spot fest. Cool. I can enjoy that. However, I will not remember this the rest of my life. It'll not be a WrestleMania moment for me.
So you don't remember ladder matches, War Games matches, Elimination Chamber matches?
No, I'm saying at WrestleMania.
So here's the thing, WrestleMania. There's going to be
WrestleMania.
like 10 singles matches at WrestleMania. If the entire card was fucking 7 single matches, one I said it'd be boring. It's like, of course you want to mix it up, and you do it with the mid cards and the tag titles because that's where you get a few more contenders and you have more fun. Because look, if you do like a singles match for like the women's IC title or a singles, like just a regular 2-on-2 tag match, like you talk about things not being memorable, those are most likely not going to be memorable unless they have a really good story with it. So the way you make it where it's like, it's at least a fun match and a must watch, and you know, you give them an opportunity to be remembered, is you throw in a little extra there, whether it's a fucking fatal 4-way for the tag titles with a fucking ladder match, or if it's a fucking triple threat for a mid-card title. So it also mixes up the card a little bit. So it's just not like singles match, singles match, singles match. It gives us a more diverse thing. So yeah, like look at, like, it's obviously an easy cop out to be like, oh, US title, we'll just do it as a multi-man. But it's all at the same time, it's like, do you want LA Knight versus Shinsuke in a singles match at WrestleMania?
I don't want LA Knight on my program.
Well, too fucking bad. He's the U.S. champion. So you know how you make his match interesting? You throw some meat in. You throw some cheese in. You maybe put a little spicy mayo to give it a little zip. So, yeah, you do a triple threat, fatal 4-way, fucking 6-pack bullshit challenge or some shit for the U.S. title because it makes it a lot more palatable and it makes it more diverse from the card and gives it an opportunity to stand out.
I firmly believe that you can't have a good tag match with more than 3 tag teams. I just don't. I just do not believe
You can't have
that.
it as a ladder match.
Well, yeah, that's a difference maker. But
that's probably what they're going to do.
I don't. There's got to be at least one ladder match, right? You would think.
Yeah, and
there has to be.
SmackDown tag title picture feel, because it feels like Viking Raiders and New Day might actually be a 2-on-2. But SmackDown, we know the whole tag division, so it feels like a fatal 4-way in the least. Like they might have eliminated they might have eliminated the Garzas this week. So now we're down to your boys, Pretty Deadly, with the DIY, the Mick McGee, and the champs, the Profits.
Mick McGee?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I'm CMG, but I was like, Mick McGee is easier to see.
Mick McGee. It's not the Mick Rib. You know what I mean? Like whatever. And Bertsky, fuck you, Bertsky, saying
Bertsky's right.
It's not singles mania. I didn't say singles mania. I'm saying there's a way to make it good. But when there's there's going to be
because WrestleMania is going to be like fucking 14 to 16 matches. So there's going to be fucking 4 to 6 multi-person matches.
6 multi-person matches?
Yeah, out of fucking 16?
Jesus Christ.
You're a fucking moron.
No, you're a fucking moron.
I'm not. I'm intelligent. I'm the winner.
No, the winner is you. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, for sure. Because Nestlemania,
he wasn't prepared.
No, well, you don't like multi-man matches, so I guess you hate Punk, Roman, and Seth.
No, I didn't say that. I said anything past a triple threat. This is why nobody. Here's the thing.
No.
You write your narrative just like everybody else in the program here.
Hold on, I don't control my narrative like EC3. Sometimes what I do is you're being a little bitch and you douse yourself in gasoline. So I just let a match and I throw it at you, and then you just explode. That's all I have to do. It's easy because you're already dousing gasoline. All I got to do is, and boom.
I listen. The one thing I will say is I really enjoyed the brawling and like the setup to it. The thing that threw me off completely was the fucking like. If they just didn't do this part, I would have been completely fine. It was each of them pointing at the sign. I was just like,
that was a little much.
Come on. Like, and then here, I don't know, this is like an added bonus point for cringe for me. There's something about Punk. I got to back up so you can see me actually do this. But like, he does this. There's a part in the brawl, right? When he does this, where he's up on the table and he goes like this. He's doing this. And I just like, there's something very Charlie Sheen weird about him when he does it with his Beavis and Butthead looking fucking quaff. And I'm just like, God, this is so bizarre to me. Like, he just looks like a screaming child. I should know. But I just think like it's one of those moments where I'm thinking, man, CM Punk just doesn't look tough. The other two people actually
CM Punk's fucking old, bro. It's part of the thing. But here's the thing. As you see in every crowd, everyone loves CM Punk. We don't care. Like he's the fucking perfect nostalgia act. He's still incredibly entertaining all the time. And honestly, I think he's done pretty well for himself in matches in WWE since he's been back. It hasn't been the worry that I thought. But I think part of that is they don't have him wrestle a lot, which is fucking intelligent as hell. So when he does, it feels special. So even if he is a little slow and old, it still feels special because we see him wrestle like 5 to 6, 7 times a year now. Smart. They've done a great job.
Slow and old. That's what I wanted to see.
They've done a great job with him for the fucking the year and a half he's been back. Like they've done a fucking fantastic job managing him. And a triple threat is just yet another way to fucking protect him even more. Protects Roman too. So that's going to be the fucking workhorse in this match.
Well, I'm curious to see the ending of this matchup because there's some thoughts out there.
Right now, if you had to predict who wins,
I kind of love the theory that Seth Rollins becomes a Heyman guy. Like, I know that's not going to happen, but like if that happened, that'd be a pretty cool swerve. You know?
I think Punk's going to win because I think we're doing Punk Gunther coming out of Mania. I think that's the key. Well, actually, Jay's winning, so never mind.
But the other thing, so to piggyback off of Friday to go to Monday with CM Punk's promo that was almost unnecessary. What?
I have a hope.
Okay. Well, I might just ruin it right here. So
no, you won't because it's not related. Go ahead.
Okay. Why did you? Okay, whatever. Anyway, so there's something that he said in that promo where he says, "I'm not getting what I want." Well, I may get what I want. And it's like, I feel like he's like, I got to take a look at this contract when we sign it on Friday. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, indubitably it's going to be that someone is the number one contender, right? What are you laughing at?
You used a big word that I didn't think you knew, so that was hilarious.
I'm not as dumb as I look. I mean, my mouth goes a lot faster than my brain.
I just didn't expect you to use a big word because you're...
You know what? Challenge accepted. Every week, new word.
Nestle's word of the day.
Word of the day. All right. And I'll have Joe this because Joe's here every week anyway. He'll keep me honest, so it's fine.
All right, here we go. Spelling bee. Spell indubitably.
Fuck no, I can't do it. I'm the worst. I am. I'll tell you right now. I had super anxiety as a kid. Obviously, still do. But like when it came to like geography bee, spelling bee, I can't do it. Like there's something. It's hard when you have everybody staring at you. It's fucking hard, man. Can't do it. Also, everybody loves your hope face. There's the O face.
Oh, it's just
and there's the hope face.
Yeah. Hey man, hey man, it popped in just like
that. Yeah. There you go. INDUB.
That looks correct. The only thing I would have thought is maybe there was an O in between the D and the U if they did but I would assume Joe was correct. I believe.
You know, we could have a segment on the show where Joe picks a word. We can try to spell it and see who gets worse, you or me. I would imagine I'd lose every time.
I would fucking crush you.
I absolutely would fucking crush.
I won spelling bees in school. I also won fucking geography. I used to be able to name every country and capital in the world. Not anymore though.
My brother was like one of those savants that was like state capitals and all the other things.
For some reason, like I'm not the best memory person, but for some reason with like maps and spelling and like random things, like I was good at.
Also, Rogaine, word of the day. Ha ha ha. Guess what? This coif, this mane right here, buddy, you wish you had that. You wish you could run your fingers through hair like this. Otherwise, you look like Yogi Bear with a little bit of a bald spot.
Long threads now.
Yeah, guess what? He probably had to go pay for it. We're going to start calling him Dr. Plugs because that's what he looks like to me. Is what it is. I don't even know where we are anymore, but
you were talking about Punk's promo on
so
Monday.
the favor could come into play here. It could be that there's the championship on the line. There's also, well, again, we can talk more after your hope because I feel like if I say something, I might fuck up your hope.
No, my hope is nothing. My hope is for post WrestleMania.
Okay, all right. I'm thinking there's a world we live in where the favor is not only does he win, Punk, that is, but he also cashes in the same night for some random fucking reason.
See, I think the favor is still going to be that Heyman has to be in his corner instead of Roman's because it's just going to fuck with Roman.
Okay. I've got hair on my chest. Ooh, that matters. Give me a fucking break.
It means he's a man, Adam.
Yeah, great. Ooh. I can look down and see my member. So that's all I need to worry about that. Okay.
Can you though without a telescope?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I've got glasses, you see.
I think
glasses. Absolutely. They are
6x improvement.
6x, 1000x. What are you talking about?
Jesus.
Needle nose Nestle over here. It's fine. Whatever. Anyway, anything else that's positive before we get into the whole fucking dick conversation?
I don't know how I felt about the main event of Raw. I loved Braun Penta. Well, it's just one of those like I was shocked that they were doing it when I saw like, oh crap, they're doing this match because I was like, I kind of want this to be the WrestleMania, but it feels like this is the one where I will say I don't necessarily would have wanted a multi-man match. But then the more I thought of it, it's like Braun and Penta with Dom in a match can just beat up on Dom, so I'm fine with it.
You were right there. You were right there.
Well, yeah, but it feels like Dom and Finn might be in this. I mean, I love Carlito being like, oh yeah, I'll go get an IC title shot in the backstage segment. I love that too because Carlito's the best. But yeah, I mean, the main event was fun, and I expected it to be broken up, but the Finn-Dom thing dynamic right now is so intriguing, so I don't mind it kind of playing out at WrestleMania, and I don't know where else they fit at WrestleMania if they're not part of this feud, and I think it also allows Braun and Penta to both be cheered, which right now it seems like that's what they want.
I will say, with the multi-man match, the JC rule applies here that the champion will probably not get pinned. So
Yes.
there's a world that JC could be particularly right, and have Dom win the IC title. That'd be fucking ridiculous.
Either Dom
Even for
wins
a
or
night.
Dom takes the pin. Either way, Dom's involved in the pin.
I don't know. I just feel like if I was booking this, it'd be fucking Finn Balor finally gets his fucking moment, goes for the coup de grace on Braun Breaker, or Penta or something, and probably Penta, because Braun's not going to take the pin. So he just throws Finn out and then fucking takes the pin and wins IC title for just a night, then get it right back.
Him pinning Finn would be even better.
Yeah.
Like if he just kind of screwed Finn,
that's good too. Yeah.
Because it feels like at some point they're turning on Finn.
Yeah.
It feels like that's what this is setting up.
I don't know. It's so interesting to me because I feel like the Braun Breaker kind of gray area, like not a heel, not a babyface kind of thing, is fine because all the dogs are barking.
Yeah, it's fine. It's right now. It's fine, especially in the mid card. They can do it, and then because it's one of those things like, depending who's the champion coming out, you can put him either way. But it's just like he's gonna get cheered no matter what right now, no matter what he does. So I'm very cool with it.
Joe said, I looked down and he thought that it might have wondered if this podcast was sponsored in part by Manscaped. Listen, if Manscaped actually reached out, surprisingly, we just couldn't make it work. So
I Manscaped. I use some of their products.
I also see some of their products.
I'm not going to review it on the show since they're not our sponsor, though.
That's true. I'm not going to say go buy it because, quite frankly,
you can also don't have to buy it directly from them. So
that's true. That's true. But you should groom. You should groom. That's all.
Yeah, it's all on preference, personal preference, and then partner preference. So
partner preference.
You should do which one. I mean, some people might like a full blown jungle down there. Not in my experience, but I don't like it either. I like being kind of clean.
Nobody wants to look like a hairless cat, but I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else that's positive before we get into the heat?
We can go in the heat.
Yay! Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Okay, here we go. I know what you're going to say, JC, but this bothers the fuck out of me. The fucking contract of the women's title thing is just bizarre to me. I don't fucking like it. I don't get it.
You just hate these three women.
I do not hate these. Io, I was going to say Io Shirai. It's Io Sky now. Io is one of my favorite people of all time. I think, unfortunately, Rhea Ripley has been they just let the air out of the room with her. She's still super over, but I feel like she's not she was mega over, and now she's still over, but she's not.
She's still these women get so much attention.
No, I know, but the one thing that was such a weird thing to me in this particular segment on Monday was Bianca Belair. She was this weird outlier to me where it was just like, if you're going to talk me into a heel turn, then I'll buy whatever the hell they're selling right now. But I'm not 100% buying it, in that it just felt out of place, and I don't like it. And I just feel like it's just so clunky with the whole, I signed the contract and then there's a rematch next week and we know that's going to get fucking, mucked up somehow.
Bianca's the ref.
Yeah. It just feels like she's like, I don't even know how to ref. And it's just like the way she yelled and screamed it, I was just like, you just sound so whiny. Like, I get it, but you're a baby face. Stop whining.
It's one of those things though. I think they're trying to tease the heel turn, whether they do it or not, but it's also like, I gotta think how to say this, but they're also not in America. She's not going to be cheered as much in not America. She's not. She's not going to get the reaction she gets in America that she's going to get from these Europe crowds. And that's why, obviously, and all three of these women are beloved, but that's why it's going to go heavy towards Io and Rhea. But they also feel like they kind of want that reaction because they're teasing this thing with Bianca because they want you to think that she is going to possibly flip heel at some point. They're giving her an edge kind of again, but they're not fully into it, which is why it's a little clunky.
I just feel like the other women's championship match is even worse in my opinion, and we can get to that next.
We can talk about that fucking segment. My God.
But it just feels like, and this is a perception. It's not the truth. This is just me. When I watch this, it's like we spent all of our creative fucking brain power on John Cena's heel turn and Cody Rhodes, which I get that. Then there's we got to service a Seth Rollins and Punk and Reigns thing. We still got to make sure Jey Uso is still over. And then we got to have Gunther look kind of whatever. And then it's just then they get to the women. I just feel like, what's that rehash thing we can do? Yeah, we'll just put them in this segment and kind of make this thing happen. It just feels like they get exhausted by the time of it. making sure all these storylines match up.
Well,
It's
each
just,
producer's given like a storyline that take the lead on. So I don't think it's so much that. I just think maybe the ideas aren't as good, but they're at least like trying stuff here. They've tried, like, there's been a lot of effort here. It might not be our favorite because, believe me, it's not my favorite either, especially the contract thing, like revisiting this week and just kind of doing it that way. I didn't love that decision, but they're definitely trying to do stuff here. It just might not be the cleanest or the best, and the execution that can go on either the writing, the blocking, or the talent themselves. I think it's a combination of all of it. But yeah, no, I don't think it's necessarily that like they're fatigued by it. I mean, you can say whatever you want about the other few because that thing's a fucking shit show. But this one, it's like I can see the effort. I don't love it, but I see like they're trying to make it interesting, and it just like it's one of those like contract signings always are hard in general because we have this preconceived notion. But it was just like trying to do it again because Rhea scribbled her name in the middle. And then like, why didn't you just announce the rematch from the beginning? I know it was part of the storyline is they kept cutting off Pierce so he couldn't do it. But it just like, it has for sure been clunky, but I do think they're trying.
Moving on to something that's even more clunky. Was this via satellite / split screen segment?
This was the worst segment of the year so far.
You know, I hate to say someone into business for themselves.
No, you don't. You love saying that shit.
You're right, I do. So if there was a way to expose somebody, Charlotte Flair decided to really fucking expose somebody on fucking Friday. And all I kept thinking about was, she's not technically doing anything wrong, but you could see that Tiffany was just spouting off the responses that were handed to her. And she was doing the best she could. She tried her best. But then Charlotte just went back and like, here's a fucking monkey wrench. Fuck you. Here's another fucking monkey wrench. Fuck you. You're a fucking bitch. You're a fucking blah, blah. Like it's just the way that she handled herself felt like it just didn't help Tiffany at all. Overexposed her. Listen.
She said from the beginning, she said, it's time to sink or swim, Tiffy time.
All I'll say is this. They went out of their way to protect Cody from getting fucking eviscerated on the microphone from John Cena.
Cody also can protect himself too.
I'm just saying, they went out of their way to protect the Golden Goose Boy, but they didn't go out of their way to go to protect potentially one of the big Golden Gooses in the women's division. I'm just saying.
Do you remember her NXT title run, how bad her promos were?
I'm just saying.
This is just a thing with her. She's not there yet. And you were hoping by this point, now that she's a world champion on the main roster, like, yeah, I mean, Charlotte didn't help her out any, but at the same time, like, Charlotte's a heel. She's not supposed there are things obviously she could have done better for sure. This thing was fucking terrible. It was awful. They both sucked. It was a terrible idea. The writing was terrible. Everything about it was terrible. Them talking over each other, Tiffy getting lost. It was just a fucking nightmare. But it just, at some point, it's like, and I love Tiffy. I think she's amazing, but this hasn't been her strength. And especially now, like, she struggled a little bit with promos as a heel. Promos as a babyface can be even harder. And it's really glaring, but I don't think they put her in the best position for this. I'm not going to put as much on Charlotte as you are. I'm going to put it more on them. And it's also like the scripted line thing. Like, yeah, it's at some point, it's like sometimes you just got to just go without it and be more natural. And for whatever reason, it just, because this is a thing that can always happen when you script it. It's good to have the script, but like when you're at this level, and I'm sure she's going to learn from it. I have no doubt she will. Tiffy's a stud. She's super young. She's still learning. We got to remember that. She hasn't been doing this that long, and she's already thrust in this level for a reason. But yeah, this was a really tough one. And this feud has been weird too. I thought it started okay. And this match kind of sells itself once we get there and they're in the ring together. I think we're going to forget a lot of this bullshit, but this is the one that the holes are really glaring when you got to stretch it out for 2 months because, whoa, that was bad.
You know what really threw me for a loop this entire thing? I was watching this. I thought to myself, you know what even was more egregious? This was a fucking pre-tape.
Yeah.
They could have fixed it. They could have not aired it. They could have just said, you know what?
What if
this looks bad
for no reason?
I mean, like, maybe they did. Maybe we have to ask somebody. Maybe we can find out. But if it's not live and you fucking went with it anyway.
Yeah, where's take 2?
Like, somebody should have stepped in and been like,
what if this was
what are we doing?
Like 17 and they're like, fuck it, just use it.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Maybe.
There's a lot of things here, but either way, it was bad.
Like our boy Joe says, shoveler's gonna shovel, baby. So
she ain't gonna do you no favors, not at this level.
But she believes in love. That's what you.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Actually, Cher was, I believe in Was it I Believe in Life After Love? Yeah, Life After Love. That's what it was. Anyway, let's see what else is on the program.
I really don't think you're strong enough now.
You know the words to that song.
Of course, I know words to all songs.
Okay. All right.
Through the darkness, he will rise. Cedric Alexander's great.
Great. Yeah, great. He's great. Speaking of just piling on to things that I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. So we have a match on Friday where I was excited that Liv beat Jade. I thought that was a fucking cool thing. I was like, here we go. All the gaga. Okay with it. But then afterwards, like the match. So the match to me was like, and I know everybody's gonna give me shit. I don't care. But like, and even Guthrie got on my case about this. But
I love Guthrie going at you for it because he's kind of right. Like you're right and he's right. Like you're both right.
I'm looking at it from a perspective of someone that is very, very microscopic in thinking. I understand that. He's looking at it from a perspective of fans that aren't going to know. I he's right, like you said.
But most fans don't care. But what you're saying is also very valid.
But what I want to get at is when you look at her, she's made out of granite. You look at, like, if you dreamt of what you wanted a wrestler or a star to look like, she's
Jade. A Greek goddess.
Yes. You look at her and you're like, yep, totally passes the eye test. Boom. You see her talk. You're like, you know what? Sometimes he fumbles a little bit, but you know what? When she's angry, she's fucking awesome. Like, we got this. She's got that bitch mentality. But when she's not concerned with selling, she probably doesn't even know this is happening because she's probably worried about the next move. Because I've had instances when I've talked to people about this where I'm like, dude, sell. And they're just like, oh, I'm thinking of the next thing. I'm sorry, I'll do it next time. They don't do it next time. But like, you really need to remember that by not selling, you make the person that you're wrestling look like shit. You know what I mean? And I don't think she's doing it on purpose. I really don't think she is. But at some point, when you want to be a star, when you want to be the person with the championship, when you want to be the person that everything's built around, like she's supposed to be, the selling needs to happen here. It needs to. Because at some point, you're going to look like you're no-selling everybody's offense. And that's unacceptable because wrestling is give and take. It's scripted. It's predetermined. You can't make it look like everybody looks like shit. You got to help people out because you can't make people without having people help you. So I just feel like, and I know Guthrie's point is valid, and I understand that. But at some point, the higher ups are going to be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Fucking figure it out.
I think there's also another layer to this, too, is because, let's be real, Jade Cargill is Gold Gill. Like, she's kind of been like she was in AEW in the same way. Like, she's kind of like the Goldberg, where it's like, she's probably being, yes, I agree. I think there are times she needs to sell better, but it's also probably one of those things like giving her size and strength, especially facing someone smaller like Liv. She's probably also being told it's like, sell, but don't sell like you're fucking the same size. You know what I mean? It's always more complicated. It's just like with Nia sometimes. Nia ate a lot of shit in her career too for not doing the same type of thing, but it's also like Nia is fucking way bigger than everyone else, so it should be a lot harder to hurt her. It's just like when someone's in there with Braun and he no-sell stuff. It's just like, it's part of being that size, and I think we don't see it that often in the women's division, so when we see it, it's even more glaring. But there are definitely times, absolutely. Like, I mean, we've seen it in her whole career. We saw it in AEW, we've seen WWE. It's something she definitely struggles with. And I think you hit the nail on the head with she probably is thinking about the next step because she is still very new to this, like in general. And obviously wanted to be farther along. I think she is. But it's just like sometimes, like, we see it all the time, especially like in the women's division. A lot of these women get hot-shotted. And like their weaknesses, they just stick out more. But I think it's a bunch of things with her, and I don't know. I'm curious to see as she develops when she faces Naomi, if it's a little different. Because I thought actually Naomi did a great job here, and I think it kind of got overshadowed by all the other stuff that went on. But I could tell, I saw it in her eyes. I'm like, this is someone who's wanted to be a heel and wants to fucking be a heel and is grabbing it by the horns and is going to make herself next level because of this. Whether she wins or loses against Jade, she'll probably lose, but her being a heel in the women's division is going to get her a lot farther than being a babyface was. But you can just see it in Naomi's eyes. Like she's into this. She wants to do this. And I love that.
I didn't hate anything she did. I thought she was a great distraction. And I thought she totally, did what she needed to do. This is a match that shouldn't go more than 8 minutes, in my opinion, at WrestleMania. It just needs to make its point, move on, and let's get it over with. Because I think you're right. I think her losing, she'll do more with losing than she will winning. Jade already lost, so Jade's probably to live. So she's definitely not going to lose in the next 3-4 weeks. That doesn't make any sense. You're just going to build her up to knock her down again. I don't know. So I think you're right. Jade would be so much better served as a heel too. But
I agree. But I think for this particular thing, I understand why they're doing it. And who knows? I think it's just one of those, I think it's just because she's such a star. They're going to start her there. But when they flip her, I think that is when we'll really start to see her development. Because again, it's like another thing. The same thing with Tiffy. It's harder to be a babyface, and especially when you're inexperienced. It's going to be a challenge. But I think Naomi's going to guide her well, and I think Jade will overperform at WrestleMania. This one was clunky for sure, but I think when she gets in there with someone like Naomi, who she'll be more comfortable with, I think she'll do better than we think. Because she was off TV for a long time, part injury, part I think they were also just working her. But we got to be patient, unfortunately, with her because, like you said, she has everything. The in-ring, she might probably never be the best at it, but there's a lot of top stars in WWE over the years and currently that aren't the rest in the ring. It don't matter. So,
all right. Anything else you want to get hopeful?
Yeah, I don't really have anything else that I really
no AEW related content.
No, we don't even.
Nobody taking a suplex on a nail bed.
Oh, that was last week.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that at the end when you make me preview AEW because we'll get to that at the end. That doesn't deserve to even be in the heat because that was so fucking disgusting.
Okay, let's get hopeful then. You're my.
You want me to go first?
Do you have a hope now? You said you had.
I told you I did earlier.
Instead of the O face with a hope face.
So what I thought was Punk wins this triple threat. It makes sense. And when you win a triple threat, you become a number one contender. And my immediately thought was he's going to face Gunther. Then I'm like, oh wait, Gunther's going to lose to Jay. They're not doing Punk Jay. But if Cena wins and he is a heel, maybe Cody finally gets a breather and they don't do the immediate rematch of Backlash. Cena only has a year, remember. So there's a lot of dream matches he's got to fit in. God knows how many he does. Cena Punk has to be on that list. Main event of Backlash, Cena Punk for the title. It can also get fucking Dwayne to come in and fucking cost Punk too, to light that on fire even more. And it'll probably set up a tag match at SummerSlam where it's Cena and Rock versus Punk and Cody. Gross. But I'm all into that. So I'm thinking, okay, we go from Cody Cena to Cena Punk and we're just light it on fire right off the bat. I would fucking love that. If in the fact Cena does possibly win, that's why I want him to face it Backlash. Is I would want to be like a CM Punk because CM Punk would be a number one contender after beating Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. It doesn't get much bigger than that. And because I always look at after WrestleMania. Obviously, you have the nights after and they do great, but it's you will come off this awesome show, but as Triple H says, that's not the end. It's a continuous nonstop thing. So you need to keep things hot. And what better way to keep the main event scene hot than to do Cena Punk right after you do Cena Cody? So yeah, that's my hope if Cena wins. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Punk, Cena, main event of Backlash. Woo.
So that's a good hope for sure. I will say this much. I'm looking at the schedule now. We have WrestleMania, says there's going to be a draft. Backlash, May 10th. A Saturday night's main event. And then Money in the Bank. So for me, imagine having Cena and Punk at Money in the Bank and recreating that on the opposite side again.
You could, but then it's Punk's just going to want to wait 2 months. You know what I mean? So that's why.
Maybe he has to wait 2 months.
They could do it twice too, because if fucking somebody helps Cena.
The other thing too is so if you look at the Elimination Chamber graphic, they had Cena, Rock, and Travis Scott, and they ended up being a thing together.
Yeah.
They've been teasing Cena and Orton on that graphic.
They're going to do a match probably with them at some point too, which who knows, if Orton beats KO, they could do it that way too, since he's already on SmackDown. But, here's the other layer in WrestleMania. Because everyone's always who's going to be the next person to join the Rock stable? Who fucking hates CM Punk?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me get to my hope, buddy. Okay, let me get to my hope, bud.
Are we crossing hopes here?
We're crossing streams here.
All right. Let you add the layer then.
All right. So here's something that came to me in a fever pitch in my brain. So since you kind of fucking stomped all over it, the one thing that I thought was,
bro.
Hold on. It's a little different. So I don't think Cena's going to win against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. There's a feeling I get that it's not going to happen because it just feels like that's not the particular that's going to happen. I feel like Cody Rhodes is going to vanquish him and Cena's going to fucking get mad or whatever. But if you remember what The Rock did, he put up 3, 2, 1, right? Or 1, 2, 3. Either way you reverse it, there's only one person on the roster that does 3, 2, 1. And his name is Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is loved by The Rock. The Rock thinks he's the biggest thing in the fucking world. The guy sent him a fucking sword when he re-signed. So he is the third member of this group, or even better, Cody beats Cena. He goes, you know what? That wasn't the biggest thing. We're coming in. And I think Mac finally becomes the final boss's champion. And that's how you get Mac past everything. Because he's got a kind of a shitty feud going on. Not a shitty feud, but he's got like a kind of a nothing feud here with Priest. And that's just to be a decoy in my mind for us to forget about it. But I think the night after Raw, The Rock's going to be there. Cena's going to not, maybe not be there for something. And then they turn it. And I think McIntyre is good because you can go McIntyre Punk. You can even, if you really wanted to, if you look at this schedule, right? Saturday night's main event is in May. You're going to tell me that you can't have like a Drew McIntyre and The Rock versus Cody and CM Punk?
The Rock is not fucking wrestling.
You don't know that. You could have Cena and McIntyre.
Are you fucking kidding
me? You could have
me?
Cena and McIntyre versus Punk and Cody. You could do that.
Travis Scott and McIntyre.
Fuck Travis Scott. Fuck him. Honest to God. Shouldn't have been in anywhere near a wrestling ring.
Oh my God. You're such a bitch.
No, you're a fucking bitch.
Gatekeeping wrestling fan. I don't want these famous people.
No, that's not it.
My sport bigger near.
No,
he hurt Cody.
No, listen.
I'm the fucking biggest crybaby for Cody there is. I don't give a fuck.
All I'm saying is the dude didn't need to sock somebody that hard. That's all. He should get a receipt. If he's a true wrestling fan, he should get a receipt.
I'm giving him an opportunity to get a receipt, and you just said, "Fuck it, he shouldn't be near wrestling." How
all right, you know
what?
I'll reserve my. I'll retract my statement. If he's willing to take a receipt from Cody Rhodes, full on, he'll forever be in the upper echelon of celebrities that have ever been in wrestling.
Wow.
If he takes a full receipt, but if he doesn't take a full receipt, he's a bitch. That's all. That's all.
Bitch, Nestle, bitch. It'll be like Bitch Owens, bitch. That should have been there in the podcast.
T-shirt.
Bitch, Nestle, bitch.
Make it a T-shirt right now, then TJ. Bitch, Nestle, bitch. There you go. Can we at least make it Bitch Adam, bitch? Because there are other Nestles in the world. I feel like they're nicer than me.
There are also other Adams in the world.
Can you say Bitch Nestlemania, bitch? At least that way it's specific to me.
You're clunky.
You're fucking clunky.
Anyway,
McIntyre, I just think the 3-2-1 thing has to really be connected to the
people also said that was a reference to Cena too. So
what, because of the hustle, loyalty, respect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can connect dots however you want.
I really hope it's true.
Like that's the other layer is that like he would come in and be like the Rock guy, but and he hates CM Punk. That's why in my mind he would make a lot of sense. Especially if Punk beats Cena at Backlash.
Well, just remember what both of them said to each other. Punk and McIntyre said,
"I'm not ever gonna,
let you be champion." So, I mean, you could have Cena versus
Punk. He could help Cena retain, and then they would set up a rematch of Money in the Bank.
Yep, exactly. Yep. There's so many things you can do with McIntyre.
And here's the thing: Punk could win the title at Money in the Bank, go to leave, and Drew could cash in because he won Money in the Bank for the second straight year.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they could do with it. There's a lot of possibilities if Cena is champion. But I am with you. Like I said, in my hope, if Cena is champion, this is my hope. I don't think it's happening because I still think the money is him winning as a babyface later in the year if they're going to do it. So,
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, time to call it a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. I can't believe
it. Kind of came out of nowhere. Jay did his entrance, and then Jimmy was just there. Which,
just like jumping up and down behind him, whatever.
I hope for Joe Henry, but if it wasn't going to be Joe Henry, this is the next best thing because know what it led to in Nestlemania? The Usos wrestling together for the first time, and I think they said like a year and a half. I was like, holy shit. But look it, man.
You don't count War Games, but whatever, that's fine.
Usos one of the top tag teams of all time, so you can't be mad about it. But I thought it was a cool little comeback. A-Town Down Under, great dance partners for them to do it with. And I think we're getting Gunther Jimmy next week. But what I also loved is their little backstage thing. Where Jimmy's like, you can't beat him. And Jay was about to get mad. He's like, no, I'm not saying. He's like, I'm saying this version of you can't beat him. And Jay like admitting, like, I love this because You want to continue to build the mountain for your baby face. And they're continuing every week to build that mountain that Jey Uso has to climb. And have his own brother do it too. I thought was a nice touch. But I love seeing the Usos together, so that's my comeback this week.
What did you think about they turned the botched flip into it, and then the slip, which clearly was made to be a semi-looking botch, clearly planned. But like the fact that like to add the seeds of doubt, because I thought that was super intelligent. I thought that was wonderful.
It was a nice touch.
Because I feel like you said, we had what, 10 weeks? It felt like we still got 3 to go.
They've done a lot better with this feud than they did have Charlotte and Tiffy.
Absolutely, 100%. But I think it's easy when you have somebody like Jey Uso. Like,
yeah, and
he makes it easier.
Yeah, when you have that entrance, it's easy. When you have Gunther, it's easy. So.
Yeah, and I mean, Gunther took a fucking hell of a slap from Jimmy in the hallway, which, goddamn,
Gunther probably got the biggest erection from that.
He probably was like, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy you next week. It's gonna be great." Although he's wearing that shirt, so maybe he has to rip the shirt off to chop him. I don't know. That'd be interesting. See what it is. Is it weird watching like Jimmy in the fucking like baggy pants and baggy like basketball shirt?
No, because they've always kind of done something to differentiate like one of them, and I feel like Jimmy was always the one who wore like the pants or stuff or whatever. So no, that doesn't bother me.
Okay, it's just weird because then next to him he's just fucking.
Jimmy's also bigger than Jay. He's a little more like flabby and like.
You're saying he's doughy?
He's just like he's big. Like Jay's more of like the lean cut. Jimmy's jacked, but he is also like the bigger jacked, like more muscle and more fat. And I think he's a little taller too.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
Should we get to the, I guess I have to give my comeback.
You have to give your comeback.
Do I have to?
Yes.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I usually call her a tomato can, but I'm going to give it to Zelina Vega.
Stud.
I mean, I didn't expect this. I'll be frank about it. I mean, my name's not Frank, but I'm still going to be frank. I was shocked at how hard she tried in this matchup because I didn't think to myself Piper versus Zelina was going to be anything good. But as I was watching this match, maybe it was the gummy he just hit right on Friday night, but I
know what it was.
Yeah, of course it was. Well, it could have been a slip of the mind.
Yeah.
But that certainly tipped the scales and that certainly helps. But I thought she really worked her ass off in this matchup. And for someone, I've been just calling her tomato can forever. I just thought, like, I got to be honest with myself and say, like, she worked her ass off in this match. So I was just happy to see her fucking excel. Because I think, like, I don't think she's going to win.
No, but Chelsea's probably not losing that thing for a fucking decade.
But, man, like, what a great job. She's doing a great job enhancing the people around her who are challenging for the title. And I think it's a really good sign of a champion that's putting the spotlight on the challenger. She's doing a fantastic job. And I think it's helping. Like Piper and, of course, your other favorite Scottish woman are doing a great job making a whole stable of it all. I just think it's great. So
yeah, and Zelina's a stud. Like, look, there's one thing with her. It's never been an effort issue. And I think she's someone who has gotten better and better. I thought she really, really found her stride in her queen run because it was the first time they really let her cook. And I mean, it's just like she's just valuable. Like she's the plug and play baby face they have in the women's division. It's just, her and Bailey, they just plug and play them wherever they need them.
Yeah. Anything else, or you want to get
big all finish Nestlemania on SmackDown? We have a United States Championship match between LA Knight, and Braun Strowman. I mean, look, I'd love Braun to win, but this has DQ written all over it. We have a tag title match player, which also has some sort of schmoz written all over it. The Street Profits defending against Pretty Deadly. And we have another contract signing with Punk, Reigns, and Rollins.
So the contract signing piques my interest a little bit. I don't know about the rest of this because, like you said,
shit on the other triple threat contract signing.
Well, hopefully they don't have to fucking all sign it. Like that's the part. Like they're part of the match. Like we're just dicking around. Because it's literally the same thing, just in a different flip. I just don't like it. Like I just don't. If this was the same storyline for Punk, Rollins, and Reigns, I would hate it. I would say this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. I would say the same thing. Has nothing to do with the women. Has something to do with the fucking storyline. And I think the women are gonna have a fucking banger of a match. I do.
Oh yeah, that'll be a great.
Like that'd be a fucking great match.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the match. We talk about this every goddamn year, though.
Yeah.
They can't help themselves, and I'm not saying it's insurmountable to ask for every storyline to be fucking crack or jack. Like it's gonna be some clunkers, some great ones, but man, I'll be curious to see what happens with this contract signing. I really will, because I really don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, there might be some clauses as Punk was referencing, so that'll be interesting. We head over to Raw. We have Gunther versus Jimmy Uso, as I mentioned. We have Io versus Rhea with Bianca as a special guest referee for the Women's World title. Schmaz there. Logan Paul returns. I'm going to call out AJ Styles, who also returns. And we have yet another Cody Cena face to face in London, jolly old London.
Do you think The Rock shows up for this one?
This would be a nice spot to stick him back in.
I think they need to. If he's not going to come in the next 3 weeks, though, that's going to be fucking weird. You get another fucking bet winning.
Yeah, I'm watching TGL, bro. Atlanta just hit a hammer to go up 4-3, baby. Billy Ho, the MVP at TGL. Let's go. Close this shit out.
You're a degenerate.
I mean, have you watched TGL? It's actually really fun to watch.
I don't even know what TGL is.
It's the indoor golf league. It's fucking actually really fun.
What is
it's
it
a lot
on?
more palatable on TV. It's on ESPN.
Is it just
It's
regular ESPN or ESPN Plus?
ESPN, ESPN2.
Okay. I'll take a look.
This is the last day of it.
Well, I'll take a look at it tonight.
Yeah.
Jesus, give me a fucking break.
This is the championship.
All right, give me a fucking break.
No, never. When have I ever given you a break on this program? That's not what this program's about. If I gave you a break on this program, no one would fucking watch this program.
Nobody watches it anyway. We're literally staring at each other. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, way to insult our audience.
Joe went to bed. That's for sure.
Well, because you talked about Drew McIntyre and your hope.
It's fine. Anyways, talking about things that'll put people to bed. Let's go over to AEW real quick before we get out of here. Yeah,
we can talk about the fucking bullshit that John Moxley did. This fucking idiot. Like, why would you why would you do that to yourself? And second of all, it's like, bro, this is not a match in the middle of the show that gets like 100,000 viewers. Yeah, and then you fucking won.
Yep,
like
that was value.
You can't do that and win. It was disgusting. I hated it, and it was even worse when I actually watched it like later. I just can't with these fucking guys.
It boggles my mind that you can do that, get suplexed on a bed of nails or a bat of nails, or whatever you call it, and then fucking win the match.
And
like,
not have nerve damage or tetanus.
I'm sure he's got both. But like, at what point does somebody think that's a good idea?
No,
like,
there's nobody to tell him no in AEW because he runs the show.
It's unfucking real. Like, I can't deal with it. Like, it's unreal.
Is that one of the worst things I've ever done? Should I add that to the knockers for?
Absolutely. Put it in right now. 100%. Right now. Slam dunk. Worst thing you've seen on TV. For sure. It might actually win. I don't know if we can surmount anything else that'll even be close to that.
How do I want to word this? John Moxley landing on a
bat of nails.
Is
it a bat
of nails?
Like a stick or whatever?
In the middle of a random dynamite.
And won.
Dynamite and won the match.
It was for a fucking championship, by the way.
Yeah. So the two things right now, as a little preview for the knockers, very early. We'll see if these things make the final cut. The other thing, for Get Them Off My TV, worst thing of 2025 award, AEW Grand Slam Australia.
There you go.
Because it went from a giant stadium show pay-per-view to a much smaller venue random collision.
Could it also be a what could have been?
Probably.
Okay, just wondering.
We'll iron that out when we get there. That's why it's only March, and we move things around, and things get eliminated, things get added. So.
All right, so let's talk about what's going to happen this week on AEW Dynamite very quickly. We've got Kenny Omega taking on Blake Christensen, Blake is a fucking stud. So it's
Cora Jade's exes, right?
Yep, and also Shawn Michaels loved him. I don't know why he didn't stick in NXT. Another match, when you look at the lineup, you're like, hey, cool. And then you're just like, it's Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Now,
Bayne's getting the shot, baby.
Toni Storm is on just another worldly fucking ride.
You're a big bitch.
Just the way she's like using the innuendo is
the
just
way
so...
she says anything. It just makes it so much more effective. Like, I don't know what it was when she got to that company, because obviously she wasn't really given this platform in WWE. Like, she was in spots, but it's like something clicked for her, and it just like, the fuck was this Toni Storm? Where has this been?
RJ City is very, very important in this entire thing because he's helping write this entire storyline. So I have a very soft spot in my heart for RJ City for EW, but the fact, like, just this is probably the best storyline they've ever done by far.
Nothing will be better for either of those women in their career than that.
No, and I don't think anything in AEW will ever get close to this, in my opinion. Not anything recently, anyway. It won't.
Not in the last few years.
Anyway, moving on, we have MJF gives MVP his answer.
I'll watch that.
Which I will say, there is a particular group that MJF had in MLW with Hammerstone and Richard Holiday, which was kind of like a big business thing. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing that instead.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little short-term thing here for him because I think he needs it, and I think it's another layer, and especially if, I don't know, especially because the world title picture is tied up, but it's also like we have the Hangman card to play here, but it's I think this is an interesting little nugget here that they're doing.
Moving on, Tony just likes booking fucking matches that I guess are cool, but like, I don't really care. It's like, okay, Brody King versus Kyle Fletcher. I'm sure it'll be a cool match, but I don't have any reason to watch it.
Yeah, is it for anything or is it just a match?
Just a match. Mark Briscoe versus Takeshita. Again, probably a good match, but when Mark
Zero
Briscoe...
interest in that match.
Mark Briscoe doesn't do it for you.
Briscoe's a 32X for me.
Powerhouse. Mark Davis is what we're going to see there. Powerhouse versus Mark Davis.
Is there anyone that's ever been more generic than poor Mark Davis?
I mean, he did a great job last week.
He's a good wrestler, but like it's one of those, we see it all the time. It's just like the tag partner. It's like, bro, you have no character. You need to find another tag partner.
It's like they took Curtis Axel and injected him with steroids, like too many. You know what I mean?
Curtis Axel had character by the end, and he's still never been eliminated.
I know. And finally, we have rated FTR sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone. So, I mean, it looks like your boy Dax and Cope are going to do something. Does it leave the door open for Cope and Christian, though?
It's
against FTR.
Because they kind of had Dax storm off last time. About something, but I want to see FTR in the Hurt Business, so I hope we don't lose the opportunity for that.
I think Hurt Business are going to be around a long time.
I know, but just imagine Shelton in the ring with those two. See my hope face again.
Hands up for Jesus. So I think that's pretty much everything on the AEW front here, because God damn it, I can't believe this is a real fucking thing. Honest to God. I'm sorry, who looks at this fucking thing and goes, you know what, I'm tuning in at 8 o'clock.
The 100,000 people that watch it.
Like, Jesus Christ. And they don't even have anything Moxley related. Is he because he's going to the doctor for his tetanus shot?
Probably needs like 50 tetanus shots, probably has nerve damage. And I mean, it's just, Renee, you work there. Can you tell your husband like to chill? Like, do you not want him to be around? Jesus.
I don't know. Anyway, I think we're good. You want to get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, Atlanta's the champs, baby. Cha-ching.
On that note, thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with some more Jobber Knockery.
Atlanta champs, just like Cody, also from, you guessed it, Atlanta.